Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Already.
Yeah.
CTP in this thing. What up,
Wuncru
Juni?
Activity Talk Show.
Already.
My name's Juni. Let's go. Wuncru fit on the mannequin.
Breathe in, breathe out, Jedi shit like Anakin.
Please excuse yourself, I ain't answering.
I'm somewhere in chat, fitted jeans and a Letterman.
Let it be up. It's whatever it
Slides
is.
on, still slide, I can't show no pity, man.
12 still ring bells, yeah, it's
Talk
belligerent.
business with Spade, our intentions too pure like we wrote up some sage.
Barking for stage, barking legs and parfaits, moss and pleasure for days, no tears, just shade.
Might talk a lot, but can't talk about a case.
Got a cage just in case it's still locked in the case.
Me and Juni might pull up like, what did you say?
Wait, nigga, what did you?
Yeah.
What did
Do
you?
our thing, man. Welcome to the Wuncru Activity Talk Show. Enjoy yourself.
Yo. Alright.
What's good, gang?
Welcome to the Wuncru Activity Talk Show. I'm Juni V, owner of Juni V Music and Wuncru.
I'm calebthepoet, founder of Breathing Activity.
And we're your hosts. This is a secluded episode. My brother from another. And we got a few subjects like for tonight. But we're going to start with a pretty lucid conversation. And really, pretty much what that is, right, is I just dropped a song today.
We're not sponsored by Budweiser at all.
But we're going to listen to it later.
I don't even drink Budweiser. I drink Bud Light. He just had Budweiser. It's my fault.
You good? So you got two projects last year, right?
I'm trying to think of when I dropped Bleed.
That would be a third.
Bleed might have been last year, so yeah, 2 in a EP.
Have you dropped this year yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Make sure I ain't missing that.
For sure.
But,
You can put out singles, right?
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
What was the most recent one?
the one that came out today.
You did? You dropped it today?
Yeah.
My nigga.
You dropped.
Y'all go get that.
Going hard. That motherfucker, it ain't
Y'all
my
go
usual
get that.
shit. It ain't my usual shit, but I think everybody will like it. It's definitely a vibe. It's a vibe.
What's the name of it?
Feel like that.
Feel like that. I think you done played it for me a few times.
Yeah.
For sure.
I made it quick as hell, man. I think I made it like 2 weeks ago. Probably.
Dang.
But outside of that, that's what we do. You know, if you've heard Kayla's projects, especially Humility right now is my favorite one.
Appreciate it.
But what was the last one?
Faith on Swagger.
Faith on Swagger, I think is like, to me, is a more solidified Humility. That's the way it sounds to me.
It's kind of like an extension, but it's like the whatever turn up that I didn't get to include on Humility because Humility was such an intentional project for me. I put it on Faith on Swagger.
Okay.
Type shit.
Okay.
It was like not a deluxe because a lot of what was on Faith on Swagger was new, but yeah, it was a different intention. Like I wanted to turn up with Faith on Swagger and Humility. I wanted to be on more.
I definitely heard that.
For sure.
I liked it. I like the turn up. Like,
Appreciate it.
You know, I seen you do shows where I think like that be your best thing is like having, even if it's 2 songs, one song that's more like, hey, this is the message.
This means something.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And the other songs like, this is the vibe.
Yeah, you gotta really be tapped in. And like I feel like the unfortunate aspect is like what I do and what I intend to do. A lot of it, only other artists will get it, and like the majority of your streams ain't supposed to come from other artists. They supposed to come from like your fan base.
I don't felt like that. Like I think for a lot of artists, right, your natural fan base, like the one that's going to actually fuck with you, are other artists first. Like
That's
if
true.
other artists don't like respect and love what you do,
That's true.
I think it's hard. You have those artists that like more so one hit wonders a lot of times, right? Where it's like the world fucks with their sound, and then everybody else is like, okay, yeah, we on the wave.
Right.
But like when you have like consistency or like when you have like bodies of work, I think it's more so like the hip hop heads, especially for rappers, of course, but like that are like, I love what he does because I'm a hip hop head.
Right.
Then they go on to be like, well, they're working on their career. They may continue listening to you or not, but excuse me. For like artists like shouts out to Cali for one, like I'm gonna still go back and listen to his shit because I have literal favorite songs of his.
Yeah. Nah, that's a good point. It's just I think you want so much right out the gate to have like the same numbers that a lot of your favorite artists had. That like you forget that take time, and you gotta work your network. You gotta work like your area. You gotta work everything on your way up to like getting where you supposed to, where you envision yourself at.
Yeah.
So it's like Rome wasn't built in a day unless your name Lil Nas X. Then it did.
But that's, it's like a lot of artists like I knew Soulja Boy when he was like literally just in the market, right? Like literally around the time he dropped, Crank That Soulja Boy.
Yeah.
Was like, okay, boom. He's no longer in the market. He's the market.
Right.
This is what everybody's about to go to. You know
For sure.
What I'm saying?
For sure.
At the same time, like when he was, beefing with Ice-T or whatever it was like, of course there was those hip hop heads that was like, no, we fucking hate it. You know what I'm saying? We don't fuck with it at all. And me, like I think I was more so like the Young LA, J Money, like when they came on the scene, they're like, hey, Mr. Swag, sir. I was like, nah, I'm not. I was like, it's a swag for sure. Like it's a vibe.
Yeah.
Like it's not really like my vibe at all. Like unless I'm in the club. That's when I started understanding. Like, oh no, this song is for you out. This song is for your headphones. When you chilling at home, and that's the beauty of music. Like to me.
Yeah.
So I try to make both.
Well, it took me so long to grasp that like, cause I used to argue. We was just talking about this, but I used to argue till I was blue in the face about why Cole was better than Wayne. And like that's all I would just keep saying is like Wayne songs don't mean nothing. Wayne songs they like you can only play them in the club. Like you only can play Wayne songs when you're trying to have a good time. It's like getting older. It was like, oh, that was the point. Like that's what he knew what his lane was.
Yes,
basically,
but like even to me, there's songs like "Man in the Mirror." I think it's not called that. Mirrors. It's called Mirrors. And "How to Love," right? So, Man in the Mirror has more like body structure of like vocals, but How to Love has more like catchy shit, right?
Yeah.
And like to me, that's songs that mean something, but they're not deep and intricate like J. Cole or Kendrick. But that's the whole point of progression.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
for sure. Because Cole had the same issue starting off. They told him all his shit meant too much. We can't play your shit in the club. We can't play your shit.
Right.
When we trying to turn up or go out before like a good time, we're not trying to think that heavy. So it's like everybody had to learn to like kind of.
Speaking of Cole's first hit, bro, like here's my thing of like that's Who That, right? And that's the song that let Nas down, right?
Right.
When I hear Nas's flow, and, I'm not a super fan. I know he's cold, but I'm not a super fan, right? When I hear Nas's flow, I think Who That is right up your alley. Like to me, it's like that should
have been right up Nas's alley.
Yeah, like it's like.
I think the lyrical aspect of Who That is why he feel like he let Nas down, because it was like for Who That to be your number one, and that's the one you pushing and everything, and it's not like.
But you're deeper than that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and maybe what Nas didn't realize at the time is like the shit was getting away from who is the deepest into who can give you the most vibes. Yeah. Nas may have not been able to like really grasp that yet.
He went on to do like In the Morning, for instance, right? That's not a deep song. That's just we smoothly rapping.
Right.
That was good for that era. But like shit like what was it? Lost Ones? Lost. What's the joint? Regardless, the one with Missy Elliott. What's that shit called?
Missy Elliott. When J. Cole.
Yeah.
How it go? Missy Elliott and J. Cole. Missy Elliott. If I just keep saying their names, it's gonna come. Nah, cause I keep wanting to think of Miss J. Cole and Janet Jackson.
What's that one? The new one?
It's like
There's a new one, right?
How that shit go? J. Cole, Janet Jackson.
Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect is the Missy Elliott J. Cole.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect. Yeah.
Like that's like that means shit. Like
Right.
That song is like intricate to everybody that was at that mental stage at that time. You know, and that's what I think like Nas wanted. You know what I mean? Especially with somebody like Missy, because I think a lot of people didn't know it was Missy at first. And then, like, within later that year that it came out, people was like, oh, that's Missy?
Right.
And then, you know, whatever. But,
Right.
Yeah, it was like, that's the perfect level of a hit song that also means something. And like I always tell you about Nas, it just never, his hit songs that mean something never hit me like that.
Can you think of one?
Uchiwali, like, well, that's not really a something.
Who?
Uchiwali.
By who?
Nas. It's not really a
Okay.
song though. But Hero was like the last one I cared about.
Anxiety? Not it. What am I talking
I
about?
think when he was dropping the nigga like album.
When you said Hero, for some reason I thought about Doechie's Anxiety.
That man.
I guess that kind of counts.
But man, we'll get to that one too.
Yeah.
If it was this song Hero, yeah, it was Hero. Yes, it was Hero. Real quick. With Carrie Hilson.
My fault I keep fixing my mic, y'all. I'm trying to let y'all see my face.
With Carrie Hilson, you know, like I just said, that's one of my R&B goats. Heroes with Carrie Hilson. Like,
J. Cole and Carrie Hilson?
Nas.
Nas and Carrie Hilson, yeah. Okay.
But this is like later Nas, like, and this is what I compared him to. Cause when I was growing up,
Right.
like I didn't know too much about Jay-Z's history. I didn't know Nas' history less, right?
Right.
And it was like this song to me was the first time I was like, it's a new song of Nas. I'm of the age of listening to, you know, really gauging hip hop.
Yeah.
And that verse, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm older now, right? So
Right.
it's even colder now than it was when I didn't understand what the fuck he was talking about when I was 12 or whatever, right? And like,
Nah, for
see
sure.
that I ain't even gonna lie to you. That just proves my own theory wrong. That proved to me why Nas is one of the coldest. And I went back to one of my first songs I connected with.
Right.
Him. That's why I think the other songs that I didn't connect with.
Let me ask you this. And then we're going to take a real quick break. Have you ever listened to Illmatic start to finish?
I didn't finish it.
Okay.
I listened about a month ago maybe.
Okay.
I was listening to it. I think I got like 5 tracks in. The first track hit me, and you know I was gauging it immediately.
Right.
And I was like, back in that time, he's saying some shit. You feel me? And I was like, yeah, that's exactly like he was new. Nobody was rapping like that at that time. So it doesn't impress me now because I've heard so many rappers now. But I didn't take that away from him. You feel me? He was ahead of the schedule.
Yeah,
then.
I think so, and that's a big point because I think so much of like how we connect to our favorite artists or the artists that we think should be held in a certain esteem is that what you felt the first time you heard that artist. So if you didn't hear Nas for the first time till you was later in life, like, and had already had a full slate of art, like I heard Nas for the first time when I was like 11, and it's just like the fucking instruments that come on when Life's a Bitch is finna play, bro. It's just like you are literally like, especially the younger you are, the better your imagination is.
Right.
So when I'm younger and I hear like Life's a Bitch finna play, it's just like you immediately just go to like a beach, just
See, like Life's a Bitch,
it's just
right?
vibes, bro.
That's one of them for me, right? It's like I don't listen. I didn't hear over time in the years,
Right.
And I don't listen to like that because of it.
I got you.
But I could respect like some sipping on some scissor, sip. That ain't, you know, it's completely different.
Yeah.
At that time, and though, you would think I'd mess with Nas more. I just didn't hear him. The adults I was around wasn't playing him.
I feel you.
So like, I think if I had heard him, excuse me, I'd be like, yeah, I fuck with him.
Right.
But it took me like literally to listen back to this song to be like, oh, the same way I did Jay-Z because I didn't get. Bro, and I'm from.
That was
I lived in New
T-Pain
Jersey.
for me. That was T-Pain for me. I didn't realize how much I actually did love T-Pain.
Oh, yeah.
If you're just now tuning in, my name is Caleb the Poet.
And my name is Juni V.
We gonna get into the topics, but you just say there's some stuff you wanted to address. No Budweiser sponsorship. I don't even drink Budweiser.
More so than anything, what we was on, a little bit to finish the Nas segment, was that it does take you enjoying music in the right atmosphere. I think that's like very big for any artist. So I never like really mess with people that are like they hate a certain type of music. I think you have to be in the atmosphere that it was made for to enjoy it. Not everybody's gonna listen to blues, but if you're in a hole in the wall spot, blues is on, and you're chilling and
you gonna soak up into the.
You gonna like blues that night,
right?
You very much.
I done vibed to like an all white band before, and just like I don't know, I guess like a band, like whatever that type of music is, like rock music. Like I done vibed to rock music just because I was. What else you gonna do?
It's the atmosphere.
Put some earplugs in. Yeah.
But even that still like you don't. To me, I don't think there's no music out there that I can't catch a vibe on. Even if it's like, those old white churches that have that like like that's all they got.
Down to the river to pray, studying the mountain, good.
I forgot these. Yeah, see, there's a vibe for that. And I haven't even explored it that much. But like for instance, we're about to get into topics. But for instance, army cadences. When I first got in the army, that was like, that's my hooks.
Yeah.
Fuck that. That's what I'm feeling. That's my hooks.
For sure.
And like I'm about to get back to that because there is a whole section of the world of military soldiers that are like, we vibe to this. Ain't nobody made that hit song yet though.
At all.
You about ready for them?
Yeah, let's get to it, man. We got the topics coming up for y'all. You want to start with
gun safety?
Yeah, for sure. So this don't have to be a long segment, y'all. Basically, how do you carry it? When you carry, how do you carry, preferably?
Two specific things. I believe you should have a lockbox if you have your only weapon and that's your main weapon and you don't go out and shoot like that. Have a lockbox. Now, if you're somebody who's like, I feel like I have to have my gun on me at all times, we're in the state of Tennessee. You're legally able to do that, concealed carry. At the same time, you have to be very well aware of where you're taking that gun into. And best like a baby, you have to know where that gun is at all times and be very aware of what situation you're in, whether you need to take it with you or whether you don't. Which leads me into one of my major conundrums, which is the fact that if you expect somebody to have the up on you and you don't have the up on them, should you ride with your gun, loaded, off safety, so you have the quickest for them? I think you should. But know the legal consequences and don't be mad if they hit you with those. Be prepared for those. That's all I can say. Like, be prepared that you might have to take legal action to defend yourself. But I know very much that you may need to be always ready or hot. When we was in Afghanistan, we wasn't always hot. There was never like a situation where it's like you just walk around with your gun off safety.
And that's Afghanistan. A lot of our audience, you niggas is in chat. Not downplaying the seriousness of situations that occur in Chattanooga. I'm just saying that it's not Afghanistan. Right.
And I say go practice. Me myself, I go out to the range. Not to disclose the location, but we go. Hit our DM. If we take you, we'll teach you these safety protocols. But especially for like riding around with it hot, I say do that if that is your life. Be very honest with yourself on what you're dealing with, because there's a lot of people that after they get a weapon, they feel like, oh, now I have to use it. No. Yeah. You should know I might need this prior to getting a weapon. But if you're somebody that's like, women, for instance, They're like, well, I don't just use mace. I want them to know, like, hey, I got that thing on me. Like, I'm not just a woman. I can defend myself. Be as avid in the gun community as much as you can. Get into social sites. Actually look up things that you wouldn't usually look up. We spend too much time worried about, what's happening with people when you could study in what you need. And it doesn't take a college certificate or anything to have knowledge. So just keep yourself safe by, if you're a gun user, if you know you're avidly using your gun, you know you can keep it on safe. You know you can pull it, take it off safe, cock it as fast as you need to in your predicament. If you're not an avid gun user, but you feel like you have to have a gun on you, then you have to go get that training. You have to go and...
Yeah.
I know we can't go everywhere.
It's not just as simple as like, I got this gun on me now, I'm protected at all times. If you're not...
You're liable at all times.
Yeah, that's more so what it is. Like, the system, you are now more susceptible to, like, the consequences of what this system can do, especially if you are a black male. Mm-hmm. Like...
A black person, regardless.
Yeah, because we have I don't know how I'm going to say this. There's a stigma associated with us when it comes to guns. Y'all see how they doing Ja Morant versus how they did Chris Kaman. When Chris Kaman did the exact same thing, he posed and took a picture with a rifle. And Ja Morant can't be on his Instagram with a handgun. That's very confusing to me.
Past the Instagram, he can't celebrate in a gun fashion.
And
that's crazy.
So be aware of what country we live in, who the ethnicity of most of the people that wear the police uniform, like who you are, what color your skin is, and as unfortunate as it is, and I'll acknowledge that it's very unfortunate to have to make things about race and have to bring race up in this subject, it is a very big deal if you are a black male carrying a weapon on you.
Big point. I have a partner of mine.
You're not going to be looked at the same way as a white male carrying a weapon on you. Like, that's just a fact of the reality that you got looked, especially if you live in America or if you live in the South.
I have a partner of mine, and this isn't the first partner of mine that did this, but he shot himself in the leg, fumbled around his pocket for the gun. Not for the gun, but it was in the same pocket he was fumbling around in for something else.
Happens.
That's why I talk about an awareness. You should be aware of that gun at all times.
If somebody, and that's where training also is like a big deal, because if you feel like you can keep your gun on your person and the safety is off and you have a bullet loaded in the chamber, first of all, your training should be good enough to where nothing needs to be in the chamber and your safety can be on for you to be able to, like, if somebody gets you within that split second that it takes to take your safety off and cock your gun.
That's the gray area, but that's where I say practice. You know what I'm saying? That's the training. That's the practice. Is like,
for sure.
You want to get to that level where you don't have to keep it off safety. You can be like, boom. That's a little bit less quicker than boom. But
if your lifestyle is that where your gun needs to be cocked with the safety off, bullet in the chamber to where you could Plaxico shoot yourself in the foot on accident at any time, you need to reevaluate how much time you spending outside as well.
And at the same time, we have to understand, bro, like, sagging and guns aren't co-linked. Rappers do that.
You said what in guns?
Sagging and guns aren't co-linked.
Sagging and guns.
They're not co-linked. You know what I mean? But like
sagging
came from jail where you don't have guns.
Right.
And you don't.
How do you even do that?
So niggas say like
if you're sagging, where's your gun?
In a lot of rapper shit, they say like, I'm sagging because my gun holding me down. Okay, yeah, that does happen.
0 sense.
Cool. Put a stronger belt on, my nigga. Like, don't fall into that stipulation where your gun is just slanging everywhere, bro.
Because if you're sagging, it can't be on your waist. So it has to be in your cargo pocket. And in any event, if you're sagging, that's further. You're having to reach down your leg to get it. Yes. As opposed to
just think about all these things, because this is gun owner like safety. It's for you. You're gonna fuck yourself up before you can help yourself.
1,000%.
1,000%. So. And this is why I'm not here for the men versus women conversation, is because I'm somebody that feels like outside of my wife, I have women I should protect. And all of those women are family to me. So when they come to me with the issue where they felt like I was dealing with a man and I was powerless, I always feel disrespected if it's like you didn't reach out to me. Because I will go out my way to at least find a resolution to that. And I do think we may need to get back to an area where we threaten people. Threaten is a big word, because I'm not promoting violence. I'm promoting the fact that don't fuck with this person. We're not protected by police. We're not protected by the law all the time. But you definitely should feel like I have multiple men in my life that aren't in my life for sex, money, or whatever. They're in my life because they will protect me. And that's part of what I feel like our job is as men. And that does bring us to our next subject, which was domestic abuse. And with domestic abuse, it can go a lot of different ways. And I'll bring a lot of the ways that we saw recently here in Chattanooga. And that being, we have men who have abused women for the sheer purpose of I can, like, you're stronger, you can do that. And they are scared. And that's literally how it starts, and that's how it ends. We also have situations where couples find that to be their dynamic. And plenty of the world has talked about how that's not the best dynamic. But I also like to introduce you to the fact that a lot of the world talks about it in a dynamic where that makes better sex. And with that being said, everybody's due to their own vices and preliminary consent when they say, well, I want this and I want, choked, slapped, or whatever it may be, plus more. Everybody's duly justified in their acceptance and what they'll allow, but you also have to remember that we're deep-seated individuals who mostly all need therapy. So don't take these certain physical aspects as don't take them as, yeah, that's just what I like. Take them as red flags with yourself and the person you're with. Because if you have that honest conversation with anybody that loves you, that literally knows you, they will tell you, that's a little fucked up. It's not just that funny. It is fucked up. And once we start engaging in, well, who's wrong and who's right, we have to also engage in who allowed what.
Where do you stand on, like, so specifically, we had in our city, I'm not going to say any names, a young lady started a thread of basically Chattanooga men who reside in Chattanooga who have negatively put their hands on women. And where do you stand on, like, the public exposure of, like, let's get these women beaters out? No offense intended by saying women beaters.
Everything in that
these committers of domestic abuse. Where do
everything
you stand
in that
on,
umbrella is a witch hunt.
them?
Everything in that umbrella is a witch hunt.
What do you mean?
You're going to everybody. It's the trend to put everybody who has done it right here. And it's up to the victims, honestly, more than anybody, to be like, yep, that was me. I do want to do something about that. In doing something about that, when the next person posted theirs of the women beating men aspect, that's when it became, well, how many people are going to step up to that plate saying that they put a hand on a man? Here's the difference of why we're not taking both sides seriously. It can be way more indignant and way more stressful on a woman to be beat by a man because of the simple physical aspects of it. It's the same dynamic when a gay dude beats up a straight man and you're like, what? But he was gay. Nigga strong. You know? That's just the pure balance of that dynamic.
Or the emotion, like if we're talking about woman on man, it's the emotional aspect of like, I know you won't hit me back. Mm-hmm. I know, like, because you're a man and you have this set of morals, I know you
respect
won't,
for you
right,
for not
like,
to do this.
Like, I'm gonna go crazy on you because I know you're not gonna do nothing because of where you stand, and that's a little manipulative. Like you're putting a man in a situation where it's like he almost does have to.
That's those equally toxic relationships.
But even in that though, I don't condone. You still, as a man, you still know what your strength is.
Yes.
You still know you can gain control of this situation. So even if she's like wilding out, like there is a line of like what you can do to retaliate.
Yes.
Based off your strength.
I've always been a big fan of grabbing arms and or sides when you're attacked as a man.
Because women, like if we are to just get it out in the open, and I apologize for speaking on behalf of women when there is no women present before I say this, but women are known to, and that's not to say that men aren't capable of doing these same things, but women are known to be the species that like can get irrational and get like over emotional and like lash out and get the just being uncontrollable.
I 100% agree with that.
And you have you have to know how to like, as a man, you have to know how to get control of the situation without like putting her in a threatening. Life-threatening situation.
I also want to acknowledge, like, as a man, I think there's an unspoken code of like, you're sitting here against another man that's way physically bigger than you. Fuck it, let's say he's fucking bigger than you and Floyd Mayweather skill. Mm-hmm. You're not whooping his ass, bro. You may have all the energy in you that says you can whip his ass that night. You're not whooping his ass. As a man, you might be like,
and you don't control him. That is huge. Like, since we are speaking on the whole spectrum of things, you also don't control him. So you don't know what his like. He might have shown you restraint for 6 to 7, 10 years. He might have shown you restraint. You might do something on the 11th year that he might just lose it and go haywire on you. You never know. So like, while we definitely are on the stance of like niggas need to control themselves and not put their hands on women, we also want women to be aware of, first of all, not every man is like us. Second of all, you never know, no matter what a man shows you, when that point will come of him losing that control.
And I'm just acknowledging the fact that like men.
So you shouldn't egg that on. Again, not defending men doing that. I'm just saying don't egg that on to where it's like,
yeah, yeah. I'm finna double down on that. But like it's like I want to like let you know the sheer difference between like you're dealing with men that know their bounds. A lot of men very much know, like, I can handle this or I can't. Mm. And when it comes to that, like, I always love niggas that be like, well, I don't give a fuck who you is. You know what I mean? I don't care. At the same time, you don't have that same instinct when it's a woman. You have that same instinct when it's a bigger foe. So that's why men should never hit women. because it's never like you're dealing with a woman that's a bigger foe. I've seen small guys get hit by their women, by bigger women. Equally is wrong because of the fact that like that's not even, you're not in the same bracket. You're not in the same like, I'm dealing with, you're doing it because you know you can. You're doing it because you know that person is smaller than you. And when you do that, that's the immediate wrong. Cross-gender, you feel me? Like, across different genders, like, that's when you know you're wrong. Now, if you're doing that, I've seen it between, like, and this just to say, like, I've seen it between lesbians more than anything. They put their hands on each other a lot because they're in the same bracket. They're, you know, you're a girl.
Domestic abuse is domestic abuse.
And exactly. And that's equally as wrong because of the fact that you're doing it because you know you have a power dynamic that's destroying. This person's not going to go this far. And then when they go that far, we're looking at that person like, why'd you go that far? Or the abuser goes that far and then we're like, they should have never been through that. I think we should normalize fighting people that we literally hate. And not fighting, as opposed to fighting people that we literally are, we are supposed to love.
Because the thing about it, like, you don't love that person. Let's just get down to the nitty gritty. If you do not love that person. If you are that capable of physically harming them, like, and there's, like somewhat of a gray area in that because like passion is a real thing in relationships and you know, people being with people, like passion is a real thing and sometimes things can get very like intense, but it is a situation of like, yeah, you need to go get help if it's a constant, like,
if it's you
can't help, but that's the only way you can show your dominance and your presence in a relationship is if you put your hands on your partner. Like, and specifically toward
more so than anything,
men out there.
Three different things. Separation, man. Separation.
It's huge. Space. Huge.
Communication, and patience.
Facts.
Those are the ones.
Facts. Step of what, like, if you feel yourself, if something gets broken in the home, you have, like, if a glass gets broke or a door gets slammed incredibly hard or, like, something breaks, that's the time where you know it's like, all right, let me take a step back. Because next after the things that can be replaced getting broken, it's more than likely going to be y'all.
There's people, hopefully, but put in the comments, blessed, if you can be one of those people that you know very well, y'all get to a point of loud, like a volume level, and y'all know in your relationship you can just leave it at that and come back and address it when y'all feel better. For the people that can do that, that's the most blessing and peace you can have in your entire relationship, is the fact that we did feel this passionate and this emotional about a subject, and we was able to say, I'm gonna leave it right there before, like you were saying, the next level after that should be, you know, hey, something broke. You know, even if you was walking away fast and you tripped and, you know, like...
You have to be able to step outside of your body and look at the situation. Like, is this heading down a path where I'm going to do something I regret?
And I do put people in that...
mess your life up for the rest of your life. Like, if you was a part of the people that was in those comments, like if your screenshotted picture was in a comment section of Chattanooga abusers or Chattanooga woman beaters or whatever, like, your life is now altered forever. So you have to really, like, move carefully and find some restraint. Find different ways to calm the fuck down, bro.
Don't stop me though. But yeah, Gemini shit. Gemini season around the corner.
Gang, we back. Wuncru Activity Talk Show. Let's get to it. What's our next topic, brother?
Brotherhood. That's an easy and a hard one. And I'm gonna tell you how I want to start it off, right? So when I realized me and you had a brotherhood, we was talking one, whatever drunk night or some shit, and we was talking about the code that you have versus the code that I have.
Right.
And then though, like our codes was like damn near the same code, but it blended. It was like, nah, but you'd rather choose this. I was like, nah, I'd rather go this way with it. He was like, yep, that's cool.
I feel you.
Like we didn't venture off like the code, but we was like, that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Shout out Sam. But like Sam, as a family member, that's not my blood, right? Me and him developed a code easily. And it was like, hey, we're in a family full of women. They're gonna go through shit. Our code is we stay the fuck out of it. We know all the business. Right. We married to the women in the family. But we stay the fuck out of it unless it's something that's like, oh no, this is like what we have to handle. It's different. And then now I have a kid, so I can say the same thing, but he has 4. And, and like when they had their first kid 5 years ago, it was like boom. It was like, no, now I have to implement, because that's her family, but I have to implement myself because my kid is going to grow up in the same family. So you don't have no choice.
Nah, like it was definitely like when you just had your one, I felt a shift in our relationship. And like you,
that's
on surface level, on surface level though, you having a child doesn't necessarily affect my life on surface level.
Right.
Like in terms of like what I'm still just like in general working toward.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't necessarily like, but
that's Caleb's son.
Who?
RJ. On the surface level.
Nephew.
On the surface level. Nah, for real. If something happened to me, it'd be like, hey, holla at Caleb for guidance.
I appreciate that. And I would take that.
It wouldn't be nobody else. Seriously. It wouldn't be nobody else in life like as a man, besides my dad, of course.
For sure.
Right? But
appreciate
that I would be like,
hey,
go holla at Caleb. If you need, Caleb might. I feel like you would tell my son things that I would tell him against your own beliefs.
Right, and that's why I say on the surface level, it didn't affect my life. Beyond the surface level, it affects everything because, like, God forbid anything happen to you, I definitely would like fall in line with your dad and your wife and like do anything that I could do to help him reach the next level. But like, God forbid, ain't nothing gonna happen to you. You gonna be here.
Yeah. I'll be here. I enjoy having that comfortability with somebody, as a brother, like
a village.
Yeah,
for sure.
I enjoy because like I said, like nobody else could fit that role.
Yeah, and if our relationship had stayed surface, just stayed like, well, we just gonna do the music, but we ain't gonna really get into like who you is as a dog. And
It'd be like, well, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
But it happened organically though, and that's a big thing. I think that organic factor is huge.
And that sucked for a lot of recording days, because it was like we was learning each other.
Yeah.
We was learning each other. Like
more so me than you, because I was the type that was just like, why we not working? Why is nothing being recorded?
No,
in my head, like we
at the time we met.
Yeah.
That's the only reason it was more you than me. Because it was the time we met, and like if you recall, bro, I was like, y'all would be like, let's hop on a song, and I was like, well, I got this old verse and I'm gonna do. Yeah. Y'all be like, no, we want a new verse, and it was like, no, bro, it's like I'm just at a time period where it's like, let me get these out.
Right.
And that's what it was. It was like, but then y'all pressure me into like do new shit, and that's when I was like, well, I'm colder. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me do new shit. I'm colder. Yeah, but and that's another sense of brotherhood. Is like if you can't push me, if you can't like bro, if I'm around you and it's like I'm only leading you, it's like yes, you're a brother, but I'm not even big on little brothers.
You like a baby brother.
I want you to be able to push me too, because I don't see us as an age that's like you have to guide me because I'm older, or I have to guide or I have to guide you because I'm older, or you have to guide me because you're older.
Right.
I see it as like you're doing this, I'm doing that. None of our lives are going to be the same. Teach me, I'm going to teach you.
Competitive shit, that competitive factor to a brotherhood leads into y'all learning more about each other.
Yeah.
And it's like, I never had somebody that was real close to me when I was young that couldn't at least almost beat me in basketball.
Yeah.
What's going on, y'all? Wuncru activity coming back at you, man. We finna get out of here, but before we do, we gonna let Juni stream his new single.
Feel Like That out everywhere right now.
Go grab that.
They hopping right now. We got RJ in the building. calebthepoet in the building.
We're breaking a deal right. Let's get to a meal. Get out of your feels. I know how it feels. I call you feel, but no one gets feel. Hey, welcome to real life. Hello. Keeping me chill. She get that oof, my big deal. Big boy, this top shit feels. This what it feel like. Nigga, what's your? Nigga, what's your? Nigga, what's your feels like? You treat them. You treat them. You treat them kids right.
You just got hit right. Know what she?
This what it feel like. This what it feel like. You racing or you rushing, can't get sleep for nothing. Bitch, you taught me something after something. I'll come up with something. Can't see the onions or it's funny. DBT or money, and you just keep on coming. Keep me coming, I'm gonna keep this what it feel like. No, it ain't even gotta be like that. No, it ain't even gotta. No, it ain't even gotta. No, you ain't even gotta feel like that. I know you wish you had your feelings back. And it ain't even gotta be like that. Shit, it'll be different using them like that. Using them like that. Go off. Go off. Go off. Go off. Go off. Go off. Go off.
You ain't even gotta feel like that.
No, it ain't even gotta. It ain't even gotta be like that. I know you wish you had your. I know you wish you had your. I know you wish you had your feelings back. It ain't even gotta be like that. It'll be different. You do them like that. Go on. Go on. Go on. Go on.
Nigga, this what it feel like.
This what it. This what it.
Nigga, this what it feel like. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Feel Like That. Y'all go pick that up. It's out everywhere.
And I got shirts coming soon. Y'all shop at Wuncru.
Shop at
Bonfire.com/Wuncru.
Show, man. Man, we appreciate y'all tuning in to the Wuncru Activity Talk Show. My name is calebthepoet.
My name is Juni V.
Till next time.